Um, Hello gamers. It is your boy, and today I'm doing a face reveal for my friend KJ because he did something and I told him if he did it I would do a face reveal, and I really don't want to do this, but guys, this is what I look like. This is the first time I've ever revealed my face on camera, so like, please be nice in the comments and stuff. So like, don't bully me. Just kidding. It's a joke because I reveal my face in every video. If this is your first time viewing the channel, I review my face in every video. Anyway, let me just give a quick shout out to mewmore, driftveil City, beautiful remix. Mewmore is great, does great music. Check it out. Anyway, the title of this video, let me stay here for a second, just so I don't distract you guys. The title of this video is not completely misleading because we will answer that question, but there is a greater question at hand. There's a larger topic that I want to cover because it is a mistake that I see newer players make. I made for a long time, and for a long time I just did not think about it. But if you have some sort of, sometimes not even a complex EV spread, there is sometimes an objectively better spread that you can use that will get you the exact same amount of points that you want in every stat and more. And people don't realize that. They're just like making the spreads and they're like, oh, you know, like that looks good. And I do this all the time still. Like, I'll still do it if I'm not thinking about it. But once I teach you this, you're going to be able to recognize this in the future and hopefully be able to use this to your advantage. So let me show you a quick example of what I'm talking about. I'll show you kind of a small example first that saves you a little bit of EVs, but trust me guys, Pokemon has been won and lost on less. I'm sure you've seen somebody survive on like 1 HP, and that's 4 EVs right there. You know, maybe if they didn't have those 4 extra EVs, they wouldn't have lived. Maybe if you had those 4 extra EVs in attack, you would have killed them. So I'm going to save your life here. First with a sample Toxapex spread. And this one is not going to be hugely different because the stats are relatively similar. So I'm going to show you guys kind of how this works right here. If you take a gander at his stats, specifically his HP, defense, and special defense right now, because that is what we are investing in. 304, 389, 368. And I know this video says probably something like, are neutral natures ever beneficial? We will get to that topic. But first of all, so you just see that we are running a calm nature. So we don't care what this attack stat is. We want to get to 368 SPDEF and 389 physical defense. But if you notice something, natures do plus 10% in a stat and minus 10% in another stat. So if you have a beneficial 10% on something like 100, 10% more than 100 is 10 extra points. If you have 10% more than 10, that would be 1 extra point. So you can see there that that 1 extra point in a stat versus a 10 extra points in a stat can make a pretty big difference. If you look at Toxapex, his defense is higher than his special defense. So a beneficial nature in his defense will actually raise his overall stat total by a larger amount than a plus nature in his special defense. So if we look at this Toxapex spread, I'll click between the two of them. You can see that they have exactly the same stats right now. And all we did is switch this nature and switch the EVs around until we got to the exact same stats. But the difference is this one has 0 EVs remaining, and this one actually has 8 remaining EVs, even though it has the exact same stats right now. So with these extra 8 EVs, we could add it to its special defense to take a hit a little bit better. We could add it to the special attack. Maybe it helps break a sub or something. We can add it to the defense. Doesn't matter. The point is we have 8 more EVs than we had before. Maybe you want to speed creep another Toxapex. Doesn't matter. you can see that just by changing the nature that we use to be adding to the largest stat that we're investing in, or subtracting from a less beneficial stat, we can achieve the exact same stat total, but with extra EVs left. And the bigger the difference is in the stats that we are investing in, the bigger of a difference this makes. So with 8 EVs, yeah, 8 EVs matter, but sometimes they might not matter nearly as much. But let's take, for example, a chandelier set. And let me tell you, all these sets are completely made up. These are not like EV spreads that I condone. These are literally just random numbers for the sake of argument. Sometimes in draft leagues, you will try to run a little more creative sets, and I feel like I come across this in draft leagues a lot. So right here, we want to completely invest in our special attack. We want to get our special attack as high as we can, but we also want to hit this 250 speed stat, right? So we decided to go for a timid nature, and then we just threw the rest in HP. So we want to max out the special attack, get to 250 speed, and then we can just put the rest in bulk or something. So we take a look at these stats, and remember what I told you before. If we go beneficial nature in a larger stat that we're investing in, so for instance, we do want to raise his special attack. His special attack is base 145, which is huge, so a beneficial nature in that will actually have a very large impact. Then we can possibly get this exact same spread, but by doing this in a different manner, we will actually have extra EVs. So for instance, if we go to modest chandelier, we can still see that we hit that 389 stat just like before. We can still hit 250 speed even without the beneficial nature by going 216 EVs in speed and modest nature. We still have 128 EVs in HP, but now rather than 8 EVs left over, since there's such a big difference between the 145 base special attack that we gave the beneficial nature to and the speed stat, we see that by going with a modest nature, we actually have 52 EVs left over. So that is a huge difference if you made this mistake on something like a chandelier. And that 52 EVs, I think anybody can argue is huge. And like, you can just throw that in. Now we had a 403 special attack. This could like be the difference between an OCO and something not killing. So that is like a huge difference if there is a larger spread. So 145 and 80, big difference. Now let me show you something that this does not apply to. So I'm just gonna mess up this chandelier set. Say we want to hit a speed like 275. If there is something that you cannot hit, like a specific stat, usually this would be something like a speed. Sometimes this is an attacking stat though, or a defensive stat. I would say this most often happens with speed that I've seen though. If there is a stat that you cannot hit without the EVs and the beneficial nature, then there's no way around that. So like if we take away, we want to hit 275 speed, we physically cannot hit 275 speed without the beneficial nature. So if you ever have a case like that where you need enough EVs and a plus nature to hit a stat, this will not apply. But if you're ever in a case where you find yourself going like 108 plus speed and you don't have that great of a speed stat, then a lot of times, so we're trying to hit 245 here, you can easily hit 245 without the beneficial nature. Boom, right there, 196 speed EVs, and we can put the beneficial nature in something that will give it more of a boost. Even if you wanted to invest in one of its defenses, even having a plus defense is going to save more than speed on chandelier because it's got a base 90 defense. Even if you like barely even wanted to invest in the special attack, it's still more beneficial to go plus special attack, if there's a specific special attack you're trying to hit. If you're like, hey, I only need 326 special attack, again, don't go plus special attack, but maybe there's a specific defense that you're trying to hit. Going plus defense in for Chandelier is still going to be more useful than going plus speed. And likewise, if you ever need to go minus in a stat and you're trying to decide what stat you want to go minus in, definitely do not go minus in the stat that has the highest, because just like a plus nature in your highest stat is going to give you the biggest boost, a minus nature in a high stat is going to give you like the biggest hurt. it will hurt you the most. And so finally we get to a place where the title of this video is, say you have some super complicated spread. This has been a case that I've had with a friend before, that he showed me this spread and he's like, dude, I think this is going to be like the first time I ever run a neutral nature. I'm like, nope. It is never going to be, I have never personally come across a case where running a neutral nature is beneficial. And that is speaking purely in the objective sense. I'm not saying there's some subjective sense that like, oh, it's not great to do some mixed spread with some speed stat and all. Like, no, objectively, I have never come across a case where a neutral nature is the best. Even if you are investing in like every single stat and you don't want to go minus in any stat, say you want to hit all these stats with T-Tar, you can do this same thing. First of all, if you're learning along, why don't you go ahead and pause the video and use what I have told you so far to see if you can optimize this EV spread. Okay, now that you are unpaused and watching the video again, let's go ahead and take a look at how I optimize this EV spread. So we want to hit a 185 speed, 267, 233, 264. You can look at all of those and the HP stat for now. You'll see, even though that we are investing 108 EVs into his speed because we want him to be faster, it is still useful to go a minus speed nature because we can still hit that 185 speed stat and get all the other stats that we wanted across the board by just investing more EVs despite the fact that we went minus. And this is like really weird looking because it's like, why would you go negative EV nature in a stat that you're like investing in the most, it looks like. But this is the case because Tyranitar's lowest stat is his speed. So if you are investing in everything in T-Tar, the optimal way to do it would be to go negative on his lowest stat, so long as you don't need to hit some... If you need to hit some stat that's like higher than 221, like if you need a T-Tar that's faster than 221 speed, then that's not... I mean, obviously you can't go negative in that stat. But if you need to hit any T-Tar that's slower than 221 speed, then like, well, actually, slightly slower than it. A negative nature in the speed and positive nature somewhere else could be beneficial if you are investing in everything. Obviously, if you don't have any special attacks, you're just going to go negative special attack because you're not using your special attack anyway. But if you are using a mixed set with Crunch, Rock Slide, and you need Ice Beam to kill a Garchomp, and maybe this is how much special attack you need, it is actually beneficial to not go neutral nature and just go minus speed, invest more in that. And now you'll see I have 4 leftover EVs, and I know I messed up this stat, but this was at like 323 or 324 attack before. So yes, we have 4 leftover EVs, but we also had like 8 points higher in attack just by switching it to an adamant nature. And again, the reason I switched it to adamant nature is because T-Tar's highest base stat is in his attack. So by going Adamant Nature, which boosts the attack by 10%, we will get the most bang for our buck out of that 10% boost. So it's really all like a math equation about how we get the biggest bang for our buck out of that 10% boost. And I guess like just little tips to help you out, because with complicated EV spreads or every case, you know, it can be a little bit different, and sometimes it takes a little bit of playing around and a little bit of puzzle solving. But generally, what I would tell you is, one, if you need EVs and a beneficial nature to hit the stat that you need, there's nothing you can really do. But if there's not a stat that you need that combination to hit that, so like say you can go 252 EVs in that stat without the plus nature, then this is possible. What you want to do is go negative in your lowest stat that you are capable of going negative in. So say you need a Tyranitar that has 199 speed. Then if you need at least 199 speed, obviously this Tyranitar is not capable of hitting 199 speed. I know you're looking at like, oh, 248. Even if you add one more speed EV, it's not going to hit on 199 speed. Like, I'll show you. Sorry, this is probably a bad example because of that. Look, it's still at 190. So anyway, if you need 199 speed Tyranitar, obviously you can't go minus speed. In that case, you would need to go, say you need 199 speed. We can hit 199 with just EVs. In this case, it would be best to go minus in the next lowest stat that we're investing in. So the next lowest stat would be the special attack. Say we need 226 special attack. We go minus special attack, and then we invest until we have 226 special attack. So yes, you always want to go minus in the lowest base stat that you are capable of doing it in. And then you always want to go plus in the stat that you are capable of doing it in, or that fits your spread, I suppose. So even with something like Toxapex that we know we're not going to be using any physical attacking moves, so we can always go minus attack nature, we still benefit from investing positive in the defense, because we're both investing in our defense and our special defense, and our defense is higher, so we go plus to hit our defense milestone, and then neutral on the speed def. But Tyranitar, minus in the lowest stat, plus in the highest stat that we can go. And what I will tell you is that these are guidelines and that you need to play around with it and see what you can do with it. I would advise you, especially if you're going into like a draft league game and you have some special spread for your draft league mons, I would say this is most beneficial in draft leagues. So definitely try it out. Let me know what you think. If you have questions, if this was confusing, if I need to do another video explaining this more, let me know. And I hope you all have a freaking wonderful day. Peace.